Hi folks, I'm going to start recording a how to do video step by step for making this cable tidy shape. So first thing I'm going to do is just open up my example. This is what I've got in front of me, and then I'm going to straight away use dim lines. Now dim lines, they are just another word for dimension lines. I've at the moment got this switched on with grid lock. I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm going to try and do first of all is I'm just going to get a measurement on the entire shape. So I'm going to go length by height, and that's 120 by 400. And then I'm going to go along to other points and grab my measurements. For example, 320 there. And I'm going to just make sure I go from this straight line to this end of the straight line here. I think that should be 190. And I think that value is the same down here. Alright, brilliant. Lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the left mouse button down, and I'm going to go for radius and click this. That's a radius of 70. This is a radius of 80, which tells me what size circle that I want to make. I'm going to just go back and get a sort of a size on these gaps here, which are sort of not in multiples of 5 or 10. So I'm actually just going to switch off my grid lock and switch on my attach. Attach will attach from one corner to another, and there we go, we've got a 9 measurement. Now we'll get to those in a moment. What I'm going to do as well is I'm just going to go back and take a measurement off of these as well using my grid lock. Oops. Hang on, if you run into difficulty, just press escape and reselect the tool, just as I've done there. Okay, great. 140 by, I think that's 35. Okay, so I've got all my measurements. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to go open a new file, and this is what I'm going to use for my drawing. And I'm going to just go to Setup, Drawing, Layout. Okay, and I'm going to change this from A3 to A2. Okay, all right. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to use my box tool, which is over here, and I'm going to draw my box. But before I do that, I have to switch off the step lock over on the right menu and switch on my grid lock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a box which is the same size, which I'm just going to go back and have a look at my other box. Minimize this. So if I just full size this again, that was 400 by 120. Let's do that first. So 400 by 120, and you'll notice the measurements are down there at the bottom. So I'm just going to go across 400 by 120. I was more than that. Let's go back to it for a moment. Right, hang on. Where it was, well, it was only 120. Sorry, it was 120. So, draw out a box, 400 by 120. Brilliant. Okay, so that's my box. I'm going to draw out one first, and then I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to go to my circle tool, which is above the square tool on the left menu, and I'm going to draw out a circle which is 80. Now I'm going to make sure that I don't go around here to these dots. I go to a dot which is exactly on the on that line. Yeah, so I'm going to go, and you'll see reference down below is 80. I'm going to go from the center line again. It's really important that you draw that line first, because it really helps you draw your second line as well. And because it's already halved, it's a lot easier to find the other half as well. So I'm just going to delete away what I don't need. I'm going to use part delete, which is left mouse button down, held down over the delete any, and I'm going to just part delete that bits of this circle away. Okay, right, good, so far so good. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually now going to go back to my other drawing quickly. I think I need another measurement actually, and I'm going to check here, which is this measurement from here to here. That's 30 on that side, 30 on that side. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize that, go back to this, and I'm just going to measure over 30. That's it's that amount, and on that side it's that amount. And I'm going to use the select tool, which is the black arrow, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to just move it down there into place. Undo. Let's select it properly. Oh, actually what the problem here has happened is I have to select the whole thing, and I have to copy it. That's these little 2 square dots underneath, and I'm just going to place that copy over here, and I'm going to drag this whole thing down to here. And I'm going to take my copy and I'm going to do the exact same. I'm going to drag it down to there. I'm going to use my part delete now to delete away the bits I don't need. Alright, and then I'm just going to use, you can use a box tool or a line tool. I'm going to use the line tool to draw a line across and join those two. Job done. Part delete away the bits you don't need, which is this bit here, this bit here, this bit here, and this bit here. Alright, we're almost done on this bit. What I want to include now is a couple of squares which are 9 millimeters, and let's check our depth of each of those squares and make sure we're doing the right thing, because if you get the depth of these wrong then it can be problematic. I'm just going to switch off my grid lock, go back to attach because it's an odd number, and that's actually 15. So each of those boxes is 15 by 9. So I'm just going to minimize this and go back to my shape here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch off the grid lock. I'm going to switch on my line tool. I'm going to switch on the radial lock, and I'm just going to start drawing, and I'm just going to draw a line straight up. The radial lock will give you a line at 45 degrees or 90 degrees or 0. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm going to select this. I'm going to go to property, and I'm just going to change the length of that to 15. Update. Okay. Alright, that's great. So that's my first bit done. I'm going to go back to my line tool and attach, and I'm going to attach to the end of that line, and I'm going to then switch on my radial lock and just draw across. Okay, switch off my radial lock and select that line again, and we're going to go property. I'm going to change that measurement to 9. Update. Okay. Alright, now I've got this shape. I'm going to copy this shape. I'm going to flip this shape, and I'm going to mirror that shape, and I'm going to use the move or copy selected objects, replace, and I've got my attach still switched on. I attach the top of this line to the end bit of that line, and I have a square. Okay, now this I'm going to be actually placing at 1, 2, 3 points here and 1, 2, 3 points here. Okay, and that's going to correspond to the other bits that I'm making for this as well. So firstly, what I want to do is get this down onto this line here. What I'm going to do, because this is an odd shape and this is an even shape, is I'm going to switch on my grid lock, switch off my attach, and I'm just going to draw a couple of points where I want it to be. So I'm going to just draw symmetrical points here. Now this was again 400, so I'm just going to draw across 200, and I'm going to just draw a line here as well. I'm just going to delete away that extra line that I just that I included, because that would be laser cut twice. Now, why have I done this? Because I want to actually have a point to place this on the base, and also want to have these points as well up here as well. So that's about there, that's about there, that's about there. It's not really important where you place them. What's really important is that this wouldn't overlap any edge here, any sort of, you wouldn't actually cross over the tangent. What I'm going to do just for this time only, I'm delete away this, delete away this, delete away these extra lines. And what I'm going to be doing, I have to draw this back actually, let's draw that back. Maybe I should have used part delete for that bit. I'm going to actually now select this, and I'm going to copy this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to select this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this using the attach tool, switch off the grid lock, and from there I want the bottom corner going to the bottom of that line. Great. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to move, replace, bottom of the corner, bottom of the line there. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to do move, replace, bottom of the corner, bottom of the line there. You could in theory do it the other way, like you could have this on the other side, but I'm not too worried about that. So let's grab this, replace, okay, bottom of this corner, bottom of that line there, and so on. Okay, replace, okay, bottom of that line there, and last but not least, this one, replace, okay, bottom of that line to that bottom of that line there. Okay. Oh, in actual fact, these should be, I've put these actually below the line where they should be, so what I'm going to do with these is a simple remedy. I'm just going to flip them. There we go, that's better. I'm going to use delete any and delete away the extra bits of line. That's not just one bit of line, that's a whole line that is along the side of that, which would be laser cut twice. Then after this, what I'm going to do, you can use the attach for this, is go from one edge to the other, one edge to the other, and there you can see we're starting to see those slots there for the X braces, if you like. I'm going to use part delete and delete away those bits there. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right, okay, fantastic. That's done so far. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to create some of these boxes. I also need to have two of these. I'm just going to delete away my measurements. Before I do anything else, I'm going to just check to see if there's any gaps. If you have a gap, the laser cutter won't cut this properly. So I'm going to just go to boundary fill and go OK. No. And no. Perfect. There's no gaps. If there was a gap, that shape would not fill. So I'm just going to select this area, delete, select that area, delete. Okay. I've checked it. At the end, I want you to fill this all in to show that you've done this check. I'm going to copy this shape, bring it up to here. Actually, I want to switch gridlock on for this. So I'm going to undo that last. I'm going to just copy it again and paste it again with gridlock, because then it will snap to the grid. If you want to be conserving of your materials, you want to actually have that snap together. Oh, not like that, just up one. Perfect. Okay, and you can see some of them are slightly random, that's okay. I mean, in theory, what you could do is you could actually flip this bottom one, if you wanted to match up the things, so that like the laser cutter makes less paths, less runs if you like. It looks nice and symmetrical. I'm just going to check the measurements again on those X braces. They're 140 by 35. There's a really, really quick way of doing these as well. So gridlock, it was 130, just double check that again. Yeah, 140 by 35. 140, 150, 130. Okay, brilliant. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take two of these, copy them, put them over here, bang, on there. I'm going to delete away this line here and there. And then you've got 6 of these gaps, so you need to copy it 6 times. If you do that and you click away, you just undo the last one. You only get one undo on this. Okay, 2. Grab the 2, copy them, and copy them again. We can paste again. Oh, undo. I need to copy that. Copy, paste, and paste. I'm using these shortcut keys, which you can use for every program, which is Control and C, Control and V. That also works here. Yeah, as I said at the end, I'd like you to just color this in. Okay, so boundary fill, no. No islands, no islands, no islands, no islands. Okay, you get the idea. okay, and so on. So also what I'd like you to do is use the text to place your name on this as well. I want you to save this into your own file and then drag it and drop it into the cable tidy files so I can print this off for you and check it. Hope that's been helpful for you, and if you have any questions, come and ask me.